Well, hello again, my fellow modelers. I welcome you to yet another video. Thank you so much for watching. This is July 2002, and what's special about July, towards the end of July, July 30th to be specific, is the anniversary of the sinking of the U.S.S. Indianapolis. Now, I recently posted a video on the history of the U.S.S. Indianapolis. It's a very, very gallant and sad story. Very, very decorated ship. She had 10 battle stars, but there was a lot of sadness surrounding it. The loss of the men and the captain. If you want to check that out, I'll put the link on the bottom. What I want to show you today, since we did the history of the Indianapolis, I want to show you a quick video on a model kit. I wasn't gonna get it. I was looking for different model kits. The trumpeter one was very expensive. Even, well, they were all just about expensive. Anything 1,350 was really expensive. Anyway, I had come across this one, and the auction was about to end. And this one, well, this kit kind of looked like it needed a home. And I'm familiar, or I'm fond of the Matchbox Lesney models for Star Trek. So when I saw Matchbox, the Indianapolis, I'm like, oh, okay. You can see a beautiful illustration of her, CA-35 on the front. Model kit. You can see Roy, is that Berksley? That's a beautiful illustration. Let's see, not recommended for children. This is 1/700 scale by Matchbox, the U.S.S. Indianapolis. So, let's see if there's anything on the side. You can say this is PK-165, which is the U.S.S. Indianapolis in 1/700 scale. 2 colors. You can see an illustration. Let's see, is there only one catapult for the plane? When she was first launched, she had 2 catapults and she had 4 planes. But after the refit in 1945, they had brought her down to 1 catapult and 3 seaplanes. Yeah, so this is probably after the refit in 1945, just before she sank. Looking at the ends of the box, somebody put a check mark on it. Again, this is PK-165. And I think the other end is the same. Yep, the other end. So looking at the other side of the box, you can see a different illustration. PK-165 U.S.S. Indianapolis 1/700 scale. Again, a beautiful illustration of the ship. And I think the gun turret, I think that raft, the pattern in it may be before the refit, but I'm not positive. Let's see on the back of the box. Again, this is from Matchbox. This is a Portland Heavy Class Cruiser. And again, it's got different information. And let's see, I don't know if I'm going to be able to read this. Matchbox International Limited, printed, made in England. Yeah, this is nothing to do about the ship. Paint and cement not included. It has, this must be the painting key for the instructions. You can see A and B. 2 colors. So I think that's everything with the box. So why don't we take it over to the desk where there's more room, and I'll show you what's in this little kit. Alright, again, we got a nice illustration on the box. I thought that's a really, you know, it's a beautiful ship. I really do think it's gorgeous. Let's see, somebody taped the ends. Let's open it up. We'll get everything out first. Is that everything? Oh, there's something at the end. guess that's just the other end of the flap of the box. Okay, so that's what's in the kit. So let's go ahead and show you guys. I guess this is pretty old because at one time I guess this is a rubber band and it's kind of petrified. Actually, let's see if we can find a date on here. 1986. So this is from 1986. So that's why it's been around a while. That's why this rubber band, I'm sure if I try to stretch it out, it'll just break and crumble. All right, what else we got? Looks like we've got the flag. We've got the name, Indianapolis, and I'm sure that those are the numbers 35. That'll be in white that are going to go with the bow, either side of the front. Let's take a look at the instructions. So, U.S.S. Indianapolis 1700 scale kit, PK 165. The length was 584 feet. Her beam was 610 1/4. Displacement 12,575 tons. Her engine turbine put out 107,000 horsepower. She had a top speed of 32.7 knots. Armament 9 8-inch guns, 8 5-inch guns, and 24 40mm machine guns. Assembly montage. And it gives some information about this glorious ship. The two ships of the Portland class, Portland and Indianapolis, were direct descendants of the first U.S. treaty cruisers. The Pensacola's limited by treaty to 10,000 tons and 20-centimeter guns. Indianapolis was laid down on 31st March 1930 and completed in November 1932, carrying 9 20-centimeter guns, 8 12.5-centimeter, 2 1.3 kilograms, 6 3 centimeters, 8 12 centimeters, plus 2 catapults and 4 float planes, on a standard displacement of 9,950 tons. She was the flagship of the U.S.N. scouting force for many years before the outbreak of World War II, and in 1936 took President Roosevelt on a month-long goodwill visit to South America. She performed much valuable service during the war and became Admiral Spruance's flagship in late 1943. But her record is overshadowed by two events that took place in the closing weeks before VJ Day. First, on 16th of July, 1945, she carried out a top-secret mission that was to have a profound effect on the outcome of the war. Her task was to transport the first operational atomic bomb from San Francisco to the Marianas Islands, a task that was successfully completed. Second, by a strange irony, Indianapolis became the focus of the U.S. Navy's worst disaster involving a ship at sea when, on a voyage to the Philippines, only 2 weeks after delivering the atomic cargo, she was hit by two torpedoes, possibly Catons, man-carrying suicide torpedoes, from the Japanese submarine I-58, and sank in 12 minutes. Her loss was not appreciated for 3 days, by which time nearly 900 of her crew of 1,199 had perished. This is a really sad story. As equally heroic as equally sad. And Captain McVeigh was court-martialed, the only captain in U.S. Navy history to be court-martialed for the loss of a vessel. The court-martial was overturned in 2001. All right, let's take a look at this. So when you open it up, it has the front, what I just read you, and it looks like it has the color scheme, or the painting key. And let's see. You can see light gray, the different colors. And the decal of 35 is going to go to the port side. It's going to be going on starboard as well. The A and the C. Let's see, let's take a look on the inside. And step 1. You can see we're putting the hull together, and we're putting the decks on, and it looks like we're mounting the main guns. Well, 2 of the main guns. Step 2, it looks like we're going on to the smokestacks. And step 3, we've got the other smokestack. On to step 4. You can see the superstructure. Step 5, more of the superstructure. Step 6. I'm not sure what that is. Could be the catapult that goes amidship. Let's see. On to step 7. We got more of the superstructure, and we're putting a smokestack on. And you can see more of the decks. I think where the anti-aircraft machine guns will go. I think the top is where the radar is going to go. You can see the key to glue everything. And we've got 9 and 10. You can see the looks like the radar unit for 9 and 10. Looks like the could be the main guns. The last 3, 11, 12. I'm not sure what those pieces are. 13. We put it all together. You can see the anchors that go in the front, 51, 67, the 2 guns that go in the back. So it's a small model, but for a small model, it does have a lot of pieces. Step 14, you can see the plane. And again, you got the color schemes for the plane. And we have the finishing touches. You can see the rafts. The planes get put into place, the lifeboats. You can see the davit for the lifeboats. So for a little model, there are a lot of pieces on this. So this could look pretty respectable. And I think that this is the same information about the ship in different languages. Let's see, what is this? The water slide cut the transfers from the sheet. Place transfers as required onto the surface. Clean water for about 45 seconds. Slide transfer off backing paper into position. And you can see it says 1979, Lesney. I think this is when possibly the model first came out, and the instructions were first printed, but the box says 1986, so I tend to go with 1986. We'll go with the later number. But those are the instructions. I think they're pretty good shape considering they're from 1986, and hopefully nothing's missing. Alright, so looks like we have the hull, parts of the hull, the top. Again, it's 1/700 scale. This isn't a huge, she's not going to be the size of the Arizona, but she is a pretty good sized ship at over 600 feet long. You can see they do have some detail on there. I hope the camera picks it up, the little portholes. You can see the sides of the ship. So this would be the port side, and we got the starboard. And again, from 1986, it looks like all the pieces are on all the trees, so this is pretty good shape. You guys know how the mailmen can be. So some of the more finer parts are looking pretty good. Looks like the radar. Little side guns, the anti-aircraft guns. You can see that the guns that are going to go into the main guns. All right, so that's the dark gray. Now we move over to the light gray. And when we make this model, I mean, we're going to paint it up because you know the deck's not gray. It's a wooden deck, so we would. It probably doesn't make much sense to look for a wood decking where we can just paint it up. And I think we could do a good job with the airbrush to make it look really good. And check it out. You guys can see the plane. So it's in one piece. The fuselage, the cockpit, the wings, and then it's separate. It will go on the flotation devices. You see the bottom of the planes. You can see the aft end of the ship. It's weird how the back is too, because it's a lot like the earlier World War I battleships, where the back of the ship comes to kind of comes to a point, just like the front. The World War II ships, they did more of the fantail in the back at the aft end of the ship. And you can see where the guns are going to go at the aft end. And you can see the anchor chains that are going to be in the little channels for the anchors. And you can see the #1 turret. And there's no detail on it, like you can't see the decking. But that's okay, we can do we'll paint it. We can paint the wood deck on, and it'll look pretty good. I think it'll look pretty good. Because there's a lot of that may not be the biggest model, but there's a lot of detail on this model. There's a lot of pieces. Instead of molding it into the plastic, there are actually a lot of individual pieces on these. There are 3 trees, and there's quite a few. All right, so now, what do we got? I think this might be the bottom of the ship. You can see it says Lesney, Matchbox Lesney Products, 1979. I hope you guys can see that. But this is a waterline model. It's not going to be where you can see the bottom of the ship. That's why there are no propellers. But you can see the lifeboats. You know, for something that small, it's got pretty good detail. And we've got could be the smokestacks. We've got the superstructure. Could be the conning tower. You can see the radar units. And we got the platform where the anti-aircraft guns are going to go. And we got guns. I think those are the main guns. And we got the bottom of the ship. And those are the trees. So this wouldn't be a really hard kit to make. But because of the amount of parts, it will be, well, it'll take a little bit of time, and it will come out good because, like I said, the amount of parts that's here will make this model look pretty cool. Especially with the airbrush. We can airbrush it up to look like she did after her final upgrade, or refit in 1945. It was completed in July 10th, 1945, when she was able to go on her final mission. Then on the way to the Philippines, after she successfully completed her mission, she was torpedoed by Japanese submarine I-58 by Captain Moshimoto, I believe was his name. But that is the U.S.S. Indianapolis. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous ship. And at first I was skeptical about the model. It was $25, so I figured there wasn't that much to lose, but it exceeded my expectations because the size was really small. And you know, a lot of the small models tend to have everything molded into the plastic. But with this one, I mean, a lot of the pieces, they're not molded into the plastic, they're actually out. So when you got the superstructure and you build everything up, you got a lot of the detail that's going to come off it. So that's awesome. You guys could remember in the instructions, you could see there's a lot of parts going on there. So for a little model, I think this is a lot of value for the money. A lot of the detail is going to look really good when it's done. Like I said, we'll do some research on the colors, because I don't always want to just take the model's word for it, because their schemes are often wrong. So I'll do a little bit of research, and because I don't see a ton of color photos of this ship, but we'll do some research when we do the model. That way there we can go ahead and we can color it the right way, the way she would have looked in 1945 before she sank. So my friends, I thank you so much for watching. And this was the U.S.S. Indianapolis, and her anniversary is coming up on July 30th. And if you want to check out the link, I did a video on this ship, the history of the ship, so I hope you check it out. And again, I thank you so much for watching. And until my next video, take care, guys, and I hope you're having a great summer.